Hey, everybody. Here we are. Gotta get my angles good and we'll get rolling. Karma's on the mat already. She's ready. Hey, we're here. I feel like I need to back up with this one. Again, my fancy yoga studio here. Oh, you guys can see my dirty dishes in my kitchen. That's fantastic. All right. Hi, Sandy. Who's with me? Who's with me? I love when you guys talk to me. It's fun. And on Facebook, I can see you. I can see you watching. I can't see you. I wish I could see you. Because that's that's the one thing I really do miss. So I want to talk for just a quick second. Hopefully, if you were with me last week on YouTube, it cut me off. It said that I had done something that was licensed, you know? I don't know what the heck that was. It's always the same. Anyway, so if you haven't heard already, LA Fitness is opening up, and that's where I am normally. Some of you guys know that. You practice with me there. However, I don't think I can go back on my Friday classes. I've been working on Fridays, and I can't. With the other things that have happened, I think I have to stay working. So I haven't made that final decision, but I think that's what it's going to be. Anyway, but I'm going to try and still do weekend classes. I know my private classes are still on hold. So that is what it is right now. But I'm going to try and still do something live. I don't know what exactly this is all going to look like. I'm going to look like, what else was I going to say? I'm still on my website, of course. You can visit me there. It'll bring you links to here. And it has the other classes there too, if you want to check that out for sure. So some decisions, some changes coming. And I thought today's practice would be about balance because it's all got to balance out, right? So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, things shift, things move, things change, and we have to roll with it, right? I mean, what is the option? You can be stuck in the mud, but life is going to move on without you if you are. So that's the focus for today is our balance. What time are we? Oh, we're getting pretty close here. So if you've missed my little blah 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 blah, you can catch it later. If you don't get emails from me, please somehow get in touch with me here, Messenger, wherever, and shoot me your email so I can add you to my email list so that when things do change, you know about it and you don't have to necessarily listen to me blah 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 so much. Or you can come in at the last minute and play some yoga with me. So I think we're ready. I think we're ready to get moving. Like I say, we're going to balance in a bunch of different places. So if standing on one foot is not your thing, don't worry, because there are other places that you can balance in. And it seems weird, right? But your balance comes from your belly. So we're going to be talking a lot about keeping the core solid so that we can balance. And the pups are in because it's too hot outside right now. So hopefully they'll be good. All right. All right. So we're going to stand at the top of the mat. Come on up to the top here. Hopefully you guys can see my weight. Do some adjustments in the middle, of course. But feet up underneath the hip bones. These things right here. Right. So you can even touch your own body. You know, I can see you anyway. Right? And point your fingers down at the floor and your feet should be underneath your fingers. Sometimes we stand too wide. Sometimes we stand too narrow. We want to be right in the middle, especially when we're talking about balance. You want to start properly aligned, of course. So then pulling the pelvic floor up. Rotating the tailbone down just a little bit, not overly. You don't want to flatten your back, but you want to engage here. And then engaging along the sides, right? So that we're strong through the middle, grounded into the feet, and extending out the crown of the head. So everything is really active. Karma's practicing. So relax your shoulders down, close your eyes. And notice even here with your eyes closed that sometimes you may feel a little bit of a sway, just a little bit of shift in your feet. Try and stay as grounded in the four corners of the feet as you can. And just accept the shift. Every time you breathe, your body shifts a little bit. So don't worry about it. Be aware of it, but it doesn't make you fall down, so it's all good. So breathing through the nose, allow your breath to begin to expand. And with that, you may feel the shift a little bit more than you did before. And that's all right. Allow your mind to stay focused on how your body is feeling, engaged through the middle, this nice big full breath here. And for right now, if you can, go ahead and keep your eyes closed. It'll challenge the balance a little bit more. If it's not possible, if it makes you dizzy, whatever, open your eyes, it's fine. With the next inhale, take the arms and stretch them up to the ceiling. And then exhale, bring them back down again. We'll do that again. Inhaling on the way up. Exhaling down. Let's go once more like that. And then we'll come up to the top again. Inhale, stretch up. As you exhale, take your right hand back toward the mat. And we want to reach the arms in opposite directions, strong through the middle here. Give yourself a little tip over to the right. Notice if your feet shift. Try and keep those feet really steady and even. Your belly's working, this left shoulder's drawn back. Take another nice big breath here. And then on an inhale, make your way back up. And switch, taking the left hand down. So again, the idea of stretching away from the body in opposite directions and then hinging over to the left. Feet are even, belly's engaged for sure. If you can, draw your right shoulder back a bit so you're open in the front of the body. And then I'm going to come on back up to the middle, inhaling. Go ahead and release the arms here. We're going to change up the feet a little bit this time. Same idea with the upper body. So stretch up, inhale. Take your right hand down. This time, step your left foot over your right. So that foot is still flat to the floor as much as you can get four corners, right? Wobbly, right? Stretch away from the body. Give yourself that hinge over to the right again. If you can, close your eyes. You can look up, you can look down, you can have your gaze level-ish. Whatever you need for your balance. So you're feeling the movement, but you're not falling down. With the next inhale, make your way back up again. Go ahead and uncross your feet, release your arms for a moment. And then let's go to the second side. So stretch up, inhale. Take the left hand down, and then step the right foot over the left. Again, getting your feet as much four corners as you can, and then when you're ready for it, hinge over to the left. So you add your gaze if you need a little bit more or less challenge here. And there's a lot of shift going on, yeah? If there's not, close your eyes or make it hard. With an inhale, stretch back up again. Release your feet, release your hands. And then just check in that your feet are where you need them to be. Take your hands on your thighs here. Following the breath, exhale, bring yourself over into a half fold kind of place. And then a little bend into the knees, and we're going to roll back up again. So exhaling on the way over. Inhaling on the way back up again. Let's take a few more flows like that. Waking up your hamstrings, stretching into the spine here. The next time you're in the half fold, go ahead and hold that. Lean on the legs as much as you need to lean here. Belly's in, supporting, the shoulders are back. We've got that nice alignment. And then bend your knees enough that you can rest your forearms on your thighs. And you don't have to lean unless you need to lean, of course, right? Feet, knees, and hips in the same alignment. Taking that right hand, let's go ahead and reach up toward the ceiling. And if you feel a big shift over to the left, find center again on your feet. So you're as even as you can be on your feet. And it's just a little baby twist to start. Let's release that side. And then switch, taking the left arm up. Again, finding center as much as possible on the feet. We'll release that. Take the legs straight again, leaning again, supporting on the thighs if you need. And if you have a deeper fold, allow yourself to gently move into that fold. Take your time. And the hands stay up on the thighs. Maybe they move toward your shins or the floor as long as the shoulders stay back. From this forward fold here, let's go ahead and make our way into an all fours position. So all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, belly's pulled in, spine is neutral. From here, let's go ahead and extend the right leg straight back. So heel in line with the hip, we want to flex the foot as if we were standing on this right leg here. And then extend the left arm forward, stretching through your fingertips, pressing through your heel. Make sure your belly's engaged here. If it's really wobbly, then keep on doing what you're doing. If it's really stable, close your eyes. And you will feel that wobble just like we did when we were standing. We'll release that side. And then switch, left leg and right arm. Take your time, stretch away from the body, feeling the muscles engaged, feeling that little bit of shift. So you're balancing here, okay? Let's release that back down again. And we're gonna go back to that first side. So extend your right leg and left arm. Make yourself solid and steady here. And then we're gonna add on. So on an exhale, pull your elbow and knee together underneath. Inhale and stretch away. In and out. Connected to the breath. So again, if this is super challenging, then just keep doing what you're doing. If it's too easy, close your eyes. Feel the wobble. Try to flow nice and smooth here. Let's go one more. And then release that down, hands and knees. All right, so the same idea, second side. Again, you decide how challenging to make it, and this side could be different. All right, so when you're ready, exhale, pull the elbow and knee together, and extend. Connected to the breath. Let's take one more like that. And then release that down. From here, let's go ahead and take the left hand palm up. We're going to leave that underneath the right arm here. And you can simply drop your elbow to the floor, and that's a nice little twist. Right? If you want more, you stretch away, continuing over to the right until the shoulder meets the mat. So you can also prop here if you need to prop. So if your head doesn't comfortably touch the floor, you can always prop up a little bit. Or again, the elbow works, right? Wherever you need to be here. So this is a nice little twist, and if that is as much as it is, then it's still good. Notice again here even how the body wants to kind of shift over to the left. Try and keep the knees even on the floor for now. So we're going to press into the left arm, press into the right fingertips, and point that elbow up toward the ceiling. And as you press, you move into a deeper twist, yeah? Feeling aligned and long with your spine. Again, even on your knees for now. This right hand can stay on the mat and continue to press. It makes a big difference sometimes. If you'd like, you can extend the right arm up toward the ceiling and reach away from the body. So really extend away. That shoulder will tend to fall forward or in toward your ear. Reach away from the body. And then if it sounds like fun, you can go ahead and extend the right foot back, coming away from the knee. See about lifting the toes away from the floor. The hip can be a little bit more closed. It can be a little bit more open, depending on where you need it for your balance. Right? So listening to where your body needs to be, remember you can adjust in or out. And if it's all too simple, you can close your eyes. That's one of the ways to make it more challenging. So gently release what you got here. And we'll go to the second side. So take that right hand, weaving it under, just down to the forearm if that's you. It's early, the twist may be here. If you want to continue to reach away, shoulder to the mat, resting the head comfortably on the floor. If you feel like you're leaning on your head, adjust so that you're leaning more on your shoulder. You should still have hips over knees, that idea. Nice long spine. And then we press into the mat. Adding the arm, extending away from the body if that's you. Stepping the left foot back and coming away from the knee, and maybe even lifting the toes. So of course you decide, maybe the eyes closed. And then we're going to release. Come on down. Back into that all fours position. So one more here on our hands and knees. Let's extend that right leg back again. This time here, go ahead and bend your knee. So a lot of times we reach with the left hand, but today we're going to lean over to the left just enough to lift the right hand. So maybe up and down a million times until you catch your balance. Maybe you can reach back and find your foot. So wherever the work is, you can then square your hips up again, press the foot into the hand, get a little bit more stretch there. Play with where your balance is. What's going on your left hand? Are you nice and even on that hand? Or are you rocking all over the place? So you can find your foundation. And then release that. Ooh. Drop the knee back to the mat. So let's go second side. Extending the left leg. When you're ready, bend at the knee. You gotta shift just enough. You gotta find the sweet spot, right? So that left hand can lift up off the floor. We maybe find the foot. Squaring the hips, pressing the foot into the hand, lifting the toes wherever the work is. Breathe. And then we're going to release that. Back to the all fours. Let's take the hips back to the heels and make our way into child's pose. So give yourself a little rest here. There is no fear of falling out of this. So let go, right? Releasing. And then let's take the arms and stretch them out nice and long again. Ground into the four corners of the hands. This time, let's make our way up into down dog. And then wiggle yourself into your down dog. Feet hip bone distance apart, just like they were when you were standing up. Well, not just like, because they're probably not flat to the floor, right? So wiggle around, allow yourself to stretch. And then begin to settle in. So press away from the floor. Press your chest back, sink into your heels. And then keeping everything else as it is here, let's go ahead and lift the right leg. Take it straight back. And then release the toes back to the floor. So nothing fancy once you get there unless you really have to. Okay? Just basically picking one of your limbs up off the floor. So let's switch sides, take the left leg. Lift straight back. And then release that back down. So, not terrible, right? So make sure your belly stays pulled in. Make sure everything else, as much as possible, stays where it is. Let's lift the right hand up off the floor. And it doesn't have to go anywhere. It can just basically barely up off the floor. You can bring it to your chest. You can stretch back, whatever. Doesn't matter, as long as it's not on the floor. And then release that side. Ready? Lifting the left hand. So again, wherever it feels normal to go, normal. And then release that side. Let's drop down to the knees and sit back into child's pose again. So come back to down dog. We're going to walk the feet back up to the hands, find your standing fold. So let's work a little bit deeper into the hamstrings. And just maybe walk in place a little bit here. So bending into one knee, pressing through the opposite heel, switch sides, back and forth, wiggle. Hands are kind of wherever you need them to be, of course. And then allow yourself to come center. Bend the knees enough that your belly touches your thighs. So a lot or a little, whatever you gotta bend. Take the arms behind the legs, wrap around. And grab onto your opposite elbow, opposite wrist, whatever it is you grab so that your belly is on your thighs and you're hanging on like this, right? From there, see if you can take your legs straighter. Maybe completely straight, maybe not so much, whatever. Belly touching the thighs, let your head hang when you get there. And then release it. From there, slide your hands up to your thighs and press away, come parallel to the floor. So just like we went down, belly in, shoulders back, we're breathing, leaning as much as you need to lean, of course. So then let's sit back, bend into the knees, make your way to chair. Toes, knees, hips, all in the same plane, yeah. Spine is neutral, so if you feel like your butt's sticking out back there, tuck it back under. Hang on if you need, come center if you'd like, extend if that's you. But instead of being on the four corners of the feet here, let's come up on the toes. And if you weren't already wobbly, you probably are now. Stay on the toes if you can. Inhale, stretch to the ceiling. And then exhale and release it all. All right, so we're gonna move our in through sun salutes. Take a couple of easy ones. You can modify, you can stick with the simpler ones. You can skip a vinyasa. We're gonna have a little bit of that today. So if it becomes too much at any point, just skip the plank piece, right? With an inhale, stretch the arms up. And on the exhale, take yourself over into a fold. Inhale, come halfway up. And then exhale, step yourself back to plank. Take the knees if you'd like, drop down to the belly, elbows tight to the sides. Hands next to the side ribs, just a gentle little roll into the shoulders. Keep the elbows in, press up and back, down dog. And then inhaling, step the feet forward. Come back to the fold. Halfway up. Exhale back over. And then come all the way up, stretch to the ceiling, and release. So another one just like that, simple. Inhaling, taking it to fold. Halfway, and then back to plank. Knees if you'd like, take it down. Hands next to the sides, roll the shoulders, maybe a little pull this time, coming up a bit bigger. Elbows in, up and back, down dog. Step forward, inhale. Halfway up. And back over. Come all the way up, stretch to the ceiling. And release it. So we're going to begin to add on a little bit here, working with some balance pieces. Again, add what's right for you, of course. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold over. Halfway up. Exhale, step back plank. Take it down. Roll to cobra. And release, down dog. With an inhale here, step your right foot forward, come to lunge. Work your toes all the way to your fingers. We're gonna stay up on the back toes or on the back knee. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, take yourself back down and step back, down dog. Inhale, forward into a plank and exhale down. Inhale as you roll your shoulders, a little pull, maybe a little press. Elbows in, up and back, down dog. Left foot forward. Toes all the way up. On the toes or the knee, and inhale, lift. Exhale, take it down. Step back, down dog again. Inhaling, shift forward. Exhaling down. Roll to cobra. And release back to your down dog. From down dog, hold. So you're gonna hold here. You can drop down into child's pose if that's you. Take just a moment. Again, sort of releasing and centering, catching your breath, so to speak. We'll take another nice big breath. And then we'll make our way back to down dog. On the inhale, step the feet forward, back to fold. Halfway up. Exhale over. And then come all the way up. Stretch to the ceiling. Exhale, release. So adding on a little bit here again. Inhale into a chair. And then take it into fold. Halfway up. Exhale, plank. Take it down. Roll to cobra. And then release back to your down dog. Right foot forward, toes to fingers, up on the back toes or the knee. Come on up. We're keeping the hips square for now. Exhale over again, down dog. Plank. And down. Inhale, cobra. Down dog. And then the left foot steps forward. Coming up. Exhale over again. Step back to your down dog. Slide into plank and take it down. Roll to cobra. And then back to our down dog, where we'll hold our down dog or drop in the child's pose to rest. So you decide. Connect to your breath. One more breath. And then make your way back to down dog. Inhaling as you step the feet forward, come back to fold. Halfway up and back over. Sit into chair here. And then exhale, release it all. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a nice big step back with the right foot. We're working into warrior two to start. So left toes forward, right toes cut in just a bit. Heel in line with the instep here. Bend into the knee. Take a peek, make sure you see your left big toe beyond your knee. Knee and ankle. Extending the arms. Shoulders over hips. Stretching through your fingertips. So then you have some options. You can extend the arms, you can bring them center, you can have them on your hips, you can support on the thigh, wherever you gotta go. We're gonna come up on the back toes and then pivot around to bring this right hip forward. So back to that upright lunge where we were earlier. Kind of. Press through the heels, sink through your hips, and again, your arms wherever you want them to be. So then let's bend this right knee, almost touch the floor. Come on back up. Do that again. Go one more time like that. Release, come over into a lunge. And then let's take that left foot back and up for our three-legged dog. Keep the hips square, the belly pulled in. Slide forward into a three-legged plank. Drop the right knee if you want. Elbows tight, come down to the belly. Release the toes. And then the hands next to the side ribs, roll yourself into a nice little cobra. And then release that. Make your way up and back, down dog. So let's switch sides. Step the right foot forward. Work your toes to your fingers. And then here, go ahead and drop the back heel. Bring the upper body up. And then you can adjust your feet if they didn't land where you want them to be. Make sure you see your big toe, always adjusting that knee ankle alignment. Extend the arms. And then we're gonna pivot on over. So take your arms where you need them to be. Come up on the back toes, pivot around, and find your lunge. So support certainly if you need. Find your balance. Press through the back heel. Make that leg as straight as you can for right now anyway. And then how about bend and almost touch the floor? Come on back up. Do it again. One more time like that. And then release the hands, come over into our lunge and step back, well, slide the foot back and up, three-legged dog. So keeping the right foot up off the floor, does not have to be high. Shift forward, make sure your belly's working. Drop it down. Roll to cobra. And then let's release that back to our down dog. So go ahead and drop on down to your knees for a moment. Sitting back in child's pose. Check in with you guys, see how we're doing. Awesome. All right. So make your way back to a down dog. And then step your feet forward, come to standing fold. So we're going to play into our balance poses from here. And I say poses because there's more than one. So pick your poison, so to speak. And if you want a little bit more or less challenging place, make your way there for sure. As long as you're on one foot, that is the goal, right? Doesn't have to be fancy or big. So let's go ahead and shift the weight over into the left foot. We're going to take the right index and middle fingers, wrap around the right big toe. So make sure that you're feeling nice and even on the four corners of your left foot. And then go ahead and take the right foot up off the floor. And I'd say just out to the side, just because that's the easiest place to go with it. So if your left knee needs to be a bit bent, or your right knee, then it is. So but off the floor is the idea. Release the foot and take it back. So working toward warrior three. Ideally, the leg is parallel to the floor. That may or may not be reality. Make the right leg at least nice and straight and strong as much as you can. And the hands might need to stay on the floor, but maybe you can climb up to the thigh. Lifting the chest. You can fly your arms. Listen to your body. Take the left hand to the floor if it's not already, the right hand to the hip. And then open the right hip, stack it on top of the left. Think stacking your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder. You can extend your right hand. You can look up, right? Where your gaze is has a lot to do with the balance if you haven't found that yet. And then release it onto the fold. Ready for side B? Ready or not, here we go. So all the way to the right. Four corners, nice and even as much as you can, remember. Index and middle fingers wrap around the left big toe, and we pick that foot up off the floor. Doesn't have to be high, doesn't have to be in one direction or another, wherever it will go. Release the foot, take the leg back, wherever back is for you today. And then you add in the upper body if that's for you. So supporting on the thigh, flying the arms wherever you go. Take the right hand to the mat and the left hand to the hip. Let the hip open. And again, in your head, kind of stack one on top of the other. Reaching up, looking up, adding on what's right to make it enough challenge.
And then let's release that. Come back to the fold. Stepping back, down dog. And then again here, go ahead and drop down into a child's pose. All right. So take it to down dog again. And from down dog here, let's bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Go ahead and drop the right knee to the floor and stretch that leg as long behind you as you can. Your toes can stay tucked under. They can come so that the top of the foot is flat to the floor, but we want to work to keep the hips square. So I like toes tucked under. It just helps me personally. And then this knee can stay more toward the middle, or you can open it out to the side a little bit, the left side a little bit. Creates a little bit of an angle, a little bit of opening in the hip. So if that's enough, that's enough. See if you can inch your left toes closer to your right hand. So maybe yes, maybe no. Listen to your body. Watch that the hips stay square. Sometimes this foot will come way up if your hips shift way over, but that's not where we want the hips, so adjust the leg. So staying up on your hands, if that's where you need to be, you can drop down to the forearms, or you can drop all the way down forehead to the mat. So just listen to where your body is and adjust if you need to adjust. Again, if you feel like you're shifting off to one side or the other, find the middle. Notice that finding the middle requires a little bit of balance, right? So there's this idea of pulling the hips toward each other so that your pelvis stays upright, or not upright, but level, square. But there's also the need to kind of let go so you can sink into the hips. And you have to find the balance between those two places to find the right stretch, to find the right position. I say your poses should be the perfect balance between effort and ease. So let's come back up onto the hands. Bringing the upper body as upright as you can here. So adjust the front leg if you need to keep the upper body more upright, if that's where you are. Bend the right knee. And then take the right hand and find your foot. Okay? So again, the hips will shift off, but see if you can keep them square. Feel that quad stretch? Pressing the foot into the hand will bring your upper body more upright again. Sweep the legs toward each other up underneath so you have that nice level pelvis, and then maybe you don't need your left hand. Maybe you do, but maybe you don't. Even if it's for a millisecond, up and off the floor. Up and down, up and down, up and down, yeah? Let's release all of that. Gently make your way back to down dog. Give yourself a wiggle and a stretch here. And then you get to do your second side. So let's bring the right knee up. Start it directly behind the wrist. Let your left leg stretch out long behind. So this again might be it. If you can adjust, we open the right knee, and then the toes come closer to the left hand-ish. So the hips are square, spine is long, and maybe you stay up or maybe you drop down. And you decide how far to drop. Listen to your body. Find that middle. Find the balance between effort and ease. And then we'll make our way back up onto the hands. Again, adjusting the right leg. If it's too much already, maybe cut it back a little bit. See about bending the left knee. And then the left hand finds the foot. If it shifts your hips, shift them back to the middle. And maybe this is enough. Yeah, there's balance going on. Pressing the foot into the hand brings the upper body more upright so that you're leaning less on this right hand to begin with, yeah? Maybe you don't need to lean it on. Take another big breath. And then gently release. Making your way slowly back to your down dog. Wiggle, stretch. And then we'll drop on down, child's pose. Let your body absorb what you just did here. Nice, easy, big breaths. How are we doing? So from your child's pose, go ahead and sit up on your heels, and we'll bring the legs around front. Extend the legs out nice and long, and take your inner thigh rotation so that we're upright on the pelvis. Flex your feet, toes pointing toward the ceiling, belly's engaged, so we're sitting tall. Let's reach the arms up on an inhale. Take yourself forward into fold. So the hands go where the hands go. Remember, that's not always your toes. Shoulders back. Nice neutral spine here. We'll take one more breath. And then on an inhale, make your way back up and release the arms. So bring the soles of the feet together. Hanging off the ankles, draw the heels in toward the groin. Elbows into the inner hips here. You can press down with the elbows if that helps your stretch. Keep the shoulders down and back. And maybe pull on the ankles a little bit to bring your belly button towards your heels-ish. So think about the alignment of your spine, making sure it's nice and neutral here. And then keep that idea. Hang on to your ankles. We're going to begin to lift up and lean back, lifting the feet away from the floor and balancing here. So make sure the chest stays lifted. If you round through your spine, you will roll down to your back. It's just the way it works. Everybody does it. So keep the chest lifted. If you can, keep your feet up off the floor. Take your index and middle fingers, wrap them around your big toes, keeping the chest lifted. And then maybe extend your right leg. Feel the body weight want to shift. Try to stay centered. And then come on back. And switch. Take the left leg out. Bring it back to the middle. And then take both legs out. So straight or not so straight, wherever you are, keep your chest lifted. Try not to pull your big toes off. God, they don't actually come off. So let's bring the feet together. And the legs again, straight or bent, whatever they have to be. Okay? Make sure your belly's in. Lift your chest like crazy, and now let go. Bring the soles of the feet back together. Hang on to your ankles again, and roll on back. Take it all the way down, hang on to your, or keep the soles of your feet together, but let them come to the floor. So the knees are gonna rest out to the sides, relax into your lower belly here. Let's bring the knees back together. Gently hug the knees into the chest and rock. So no more balancing. But see if you can take your mind and be very appreciative of the support that the floor gives your body. Wherever it's touching, wherever your body might be. You don't have to worry about falling down here anymore. So let's go ahead and keep the knees into the chest today. And you can adjust the spinal twist if you need to adjust, absolutely anytime. But maybe today, thighs in toward the belly, arms open into a T, and then we're just gonna let the legs fall over to the right. So maybe they land, again, a little bit closer to the torso. Try to let them fall to the floor, and if they do fall away from the body, let them, it's not a big deal. See if you can keep the left shoulder back, maybe look over the left fingertips. And just let your body kind of sink into the mat. Again, being fully supported by the floor. You can take the legs straight or not. We'll take one last big breath here. Bend at the knees if you did take the legs straight, and make your way back up to the middle. So then the same idea, the knees stay a little closer to the body. Let's drop the knees over to the left. And again, whether they fall away or not, just let it be what it is. See how much you can release into the mat. Taking the legs straighter if you want that little variation. Take one more nice big breath. And then let's make our way back up to center. Keeping the knees hugged in, go ahead and rock a little bit, massage your back against the mat. And then let's squeeze the knees to the chest, tight as you can. See if you can maybe even grab your opposite elbow across your shins. Pull the forehead in toward the knees, give yourself a nice big squeeze here. And then release that to a full body stretch. Get really long again, engage every muscle. Releasing your stretch. Let your arms come back down by your sides. Take as much time as you need to make yourself comfortable here. We're going to be here for a little bit, so if you feel like you need to be supported somewhere, if you prefer your feet flat to the floor, you can always move to a wall and take a seated meditation, supporting your back against the wall or not. So find where your body's most comfortable. And then allow yourself to rest there. Releasing the muscles, releasing control of your breath. Release any random thought that wanders in. Let it wander right back out. Keeping the mind quiet, present. Allowing yourself to rest deeply. Remember, you can always stay in this position as long as you'd like. If you're ready, allow the body to begin to move and stretch.
When you're ready, bringing the feet flat to the floor. Gently roll yourself to the side. Slowly make your way back up to seated. Bringing the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. If you missed any of it, come back and watch it again at your leisure. Feel free to stay in touch. Bug me whenever you'd like. I miss you guys. And maybe I will see you soon, and maybe I will just see you here next week. Bye, guys. Have a great day. I just want to touch the screen over here, but it doesn't work like that.